He didn't succeed as a player, but he made himself as one of the best football coaches in the last 2 decades. He even made a great history with Porto, Chelsea, Inter-Milan, and Real Madrid. And now, he's wrestling to do it again with Manchester United. He is the Portuguese Jose Mourinho. He may be the more controversial man in the present time, but wherever he did go, he creates an army of supporters and another one of haters. He becomes famous with the nickname the Special One, not just because of his skills as coach, but because of his controversial statements and his sarcasm towards his competitors, and sometimes towards his players, which makes him unloved to some who worked with him and to his opponents. In this video, we're going to present to you the players who hate Jose Mourinho the most. Number 6. Iker Casillas. The Spanish goalkeeper, aka the Saint, was untouchable in Real Madrid. But after Mourinho came to train Real Madrid in 2010, it changed everything. After a calm first season inside the Royal Club, the half of the second season came with many crises between the skillful goalkeeper and the Portuguese coach. Regarding Casillas' communication with some Barcelona players, like Xavi and Piqué, to end some conflicts between the two clubs, beside the accusation of Mourinho to Casillas that he was responsible about leaking the club news to the Spanish press, which made Mourinho take advantage from Casillas' injury to contract with his fellow Diego Lopez in January 2013 and offered him the position of the main goalkeeper. On account of Casillas, who stated after, "Mourinho makes me cry and shortens my sleep." Number 5. Xavi Hernandez. The only player in this list for Mourinho's opponents, not his players. The former Barcelona star and the current Qatari club Al Sadd player didn't hesitate to share his hate of the coaching philosophy that Mourinho works with since the start of his career with Porto, where he did make a lot of statements. The most prominent was, Mourinho joined in the start of his career as an assistant to the Dutch Louis van Gaal in Barcelona, and he got convinced by the club philosophy. But now he has a different perspective. I don't agree with his philosophy and ideas. I don't think he's going to leave any legacy to the football world. Guardiola is far better than him. As he pointed out that the Portuguese was the main reason in the troubles that happened between the Barcelona's and Real Madrid's players and the Spanish national team, and he reproved what he did to his friend Casillas. Number 4. Kevin De Bruyne. Another star was a victim to the Portuguese coach. In the season 2013-2014, the Belgian was playing for Chelsea, but Mourinho wasn't satisfied with his skills, and he let him play only 9 games on the entire half season. He even described him as a child before he handed him over to Wolfsburg in January 2014. And there, De Bruyne had proved that he isn't a child. He's a great player, where he brilliantly shone in the German league and came back to the Premier League through Manchester City's door. And from his memories with Mourinho, the player stated, "He is from the past. Mourinho was intentionally showing me as the weakest link to the other players, based it on analytical data to the players' performances during the games, despite that I played less games." Number 3. Ramos and Pepe. Mourinho's differences are not limited with Real Madrid's players only with what he did with Casillas, but it went on to Real Madrid's defensive heart then. They exchanged accusations after Real Madrid lost a game to Barcelona in the King of Spain Cup, which led to the deterioration of the relationship between the two. On the other hand, Pepe's sympathy with Casillas caused him a big crisis with Mourinho, especially after he defended his friend by stating, "Mourinho doesn't respect Casillas." So Mourinho decided to rely on Varane instead of Pepe, and he stated, "It's hard for someone who's 31 years old and has a history like Pepe to get cut off. A young man in his 19 years, he is Varane. I was bold enough to push him instead of Pepe." Number 2. Eden Hazard. The Belgian player also got his part with Mourinho, where the relationship between the Portuguese coach and Hazard started to get bad in the end of the season 2013-2014 after he stated in a press conference, "Hazard is the type of player who doesn't look back. He doesn't sacrifice for the team, and he doesn't do his defensive duties. I am not happy with his performance." Before things calmed down between the two, the next season, it got bad again, after Mourinho decided to keep Hazard on the bench in some of the club's games due to his falling level at the start of the season 2015-2016. And which is the impact of the player's anger. And he expressed that in a game against Porto in the Champions League when he put away Mourinho's hand from his face after he went to congratulate him for his great performance. As he stated back then to a relative that he wanted to leave Chelsea, only that Mourinho is the one who left the club of London in the middle of that same season. Number 1. Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba is about to leave Manchester United. The English career of the world champion may be coming to an end, and he could be headed to Juventus. Pogba's transfer will cause significant waves in the world of football, but what could possibly drive him to leave England for Italy? The truth is there are several reasons explaining his wish. To begin with Pogba's strained relationship with Jose Mourinho and its reaching the point of no return. It was already very tense. Mourinho criticized Pogba on many occasions even after the Frenchman won the World Cup. Little by little, the relationship between the two men seemed to be getting better. Pogba even became vice-captain with Manchester United and was at times very good on the pitch, except that Pogba was sick of Mourinho's defensive strategy. Lately, Pogba took direct aim at the coach's tactics. When we play at home, we should attack, attack, attack. I'm not the manager, I shouldn't say this, but obviously we have to try other options. His comments were the beginning of the end, and it had enough of Pogba's attitude. The Portuguese coach officially announced that the player would no longer be vice-captain of Manchester. He criticized him for everything, even for playing his music too loud before a match. If Mourinho stays, there's no doubt about it, Pogba will leave in January.